Hey, you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. I guess I should start with Happy New Year. It is 2023. Oh my God, we've arrived. We've made it. And what a blessing it is to be able to say that, you know what, I'm here. I'm still amongst the living. I still have the activities of my limbs. I'm able to speak. I'm able to, serve with someone. I'm able to continue to do what God has called me to do and just be, right? Just live. I am excited because this is our first show of the year. I don't know, but you know what? Let me go here. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Tamara Johnson. I am the owner, the founder, creator of this amazing platform. Let's be clear. The name of my business is Make It Rise. RISE is an acronym for Rebuild Intentionally and Strategically for Effectiveness. We began in 2015 just wanting to be of assistance to couples, married couples, just reminding them of what God said marriage is. So the vision is to create a movement where we're changing a view of how society has defined marriage and getting back to what God said marriage is, right? It's so easy for us to just throw the towel in just because he don't put his underwear in the dirty clothes hamper. They land on the side, or he don't let the toilet seat down. I'm done. So we're so quick to give up on what marriage really is. And so that was the derivative of why Make It Rise or Make It Rise started. But as time went on, I'll fast forward a little bit. In my marriage, I was in the valley of my marriage, and then after we came out, God gave me this vehicle to drive to assist other women who were in the valley of their marriage, and I wanted to be what I needed at that time. But unfortunately, my marriage did not last. And so fast forward a little bit more, I am now in the vehicle of a divorcee. So I'm a woman who has been divorced for 4 years. And I am just here to say there is life after divorce. That is what this platform is all about. We're going to be sharing a lot about this book, this journal that we have authored and released as of today. So it's so amazing that we're able to come on today and actually do this show. Of course, the show was already prepared to roll out today, but the way God set this thing up, the book released live on Amazon today. I'm like, look at your timing, God. Look at your timing.
Excited.
So, as you can see, I am not solo tonight. I have a co-author, Lady Flo. And so what we're doing is with the journal, the newly released journal, Seasons of Divorce. There's 12 women in this journal along with me. So I'm the 13th, but there's 12 other women who will be representing a month of each of the year, this year. And so this is an author's copy, like a proof. So you guys will see a line there. But what I am doing is bringing on each one of the ladies who have locked arms with me and said, I want to help you push the mission of There Is Life After Divorce. So Life After Divorce is a complete movement that I started 2 years ago. And I've gotten a lot of women and men who have said, sis, I want to rock with you because I believe there is life after divorce. And what does that look like in your dating? There's life after divorce, creating businesses, being an author, just being able to live, put pieces back together, all of this good stuff. There is life after divorce. So we wrote this book. It was released today. I'm going to bring on the woman that's representing the month each month, every first Monday of the month at between 6 and 6:30 p.m. They're going to come and sit with me, and we're just going to chat. We're just going to have some good old talk. So I want to introduce you to the co-author and my co-host today, Lady Flo. This is a dear friend of mine. She's not just the person who I said, oh, are you divorced? Oh, would you mind writing a piece in this journal? No, that wasn't this situation. She and I, actually, we rocks, right? She's one of them friends that you don't have to talk to every day, but when y'all do talk, y'all like spiritually connect, and it's like scary. That's us. That's us. So,
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to give her the floor, the mic, to just introduce yourself, let the people know who you are, and we'll get into the nooks and crannies of, why you signed on to be a part of the book, but just let them know who you are, what you do, and what you have going on.
Hello, everyone. Most of you already know my name is Lady Flo, and I always say I'm just a person of many hats. Who I need to be at that time and moment of who God has called for me to be at that time and moment. Whether it be a wife, whether it be an entrepreneur, whether it be the corporate world, whether it be in the kitchen, whether it be family, just being everything that I desire to be for God, not for myself, but making sure that I'm in His will. I coach as well, Millionaire Shades of Me. So I am a coach. I am an author. Second time author now because of this book. I work for Jackson Hewitt. I work in the corporate world. I am a district manager and I oversee about 20 something offices in Los Angeles and Los Angeles counties. I'm a former pastor. I whatever role it is for me to do.
Yeah.
My motto is, I must work while it is day.
Yeah.
For when night cometh, no man can work. So I always say I got plenty of time to sleep.
Yeah,
I got plenty of time to sleep. But enjoying every part of what I'm doing, enjoying the direction of which God is taking with me. I'm formally remarried after being married for 21 years. Did not know within a year I would be married again. But God is faithful and God is true. My husband's in the background here, but with me too tonight. So I'm super excited.
Love it.
Just here, ready to. Hey, we can go wherever you want to go.
Let's
just go down these highways
and byways.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that introduction of yourself. As she stated, she's already an author, right? She was already an author before this project. And it's so funny because as I asked the lady, so the way that the journal is set up is they are representing a month. They are giving a quote, and then they're also giving a scripture and a journal prompt. Well, this young lady sent me her journal prompt. Listen, I said, sis, it was a whole chapter. It was a whole chapter, but it was good stuff, right? So I felt myself kind of diving in and just reading, and oh my God, this is good. But I had to tap in and tell her, sis, we're going to have to shorten it up just a little bit. But don't get rid of it because there's other projects coming up, right?
Absolutely.
I said that.
Absolutely.
So it's so amazing. In this journal, I'm going to see if you can see, maybe not because of the lighting, but we got another camera over there. So it's just amazing to sit and be a part of. I know that I am the visionary of this movement. But just knowing that there are people out there that feel that it is so important for us to be able to lock arms with women and show them and share with them our journey of getting to healing, right? And that there's so many of us that are still healing. Absolutely. So we're just an example of what it looked like. And not to say that what we did or what we're doing is what you need to do in order to be healed, but we want to give you hope. So one of the things I wrote down after reading all that you sent me, your quote, you said, give thanks to your brokenness, your depression, your dark days, and your loneliness as a result of divorce, because it is leading you to greatness. Now, that is a very powerful quote, because who wants to give thanks for being broken and being angry and dark and all of those? It's hard to do that when you're in the shoes of actually brokenness, darkness, depression, right? It's hard to say, I can do this, I can do this. So we are trying to be that voice that say, you can do this, you can do this.
Absolutely.
When you wrote that quote, what was your thought behind that? Did you put yourself in her shoes, or did you, where were you at mentally? Were you in a good place? Did you feel like, woo, this is for me, but it says it's going to help you? Where were you?
I was actually in a not so good place.
Okay.
That's the thing about it is, being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And knowing that the brokenness, the hurt, the pain, the self-inflicted pain that I brought up on myself doing marriage, doing life, had brought me to this point of reaching for my greatness. And a lot of times we as women, we don't want the people to see our inner hurt.
Yeah.
Our inner brokenness.
Right.
Depression. I deal with chronic depression. I do, and most people don't know that.
Okay, let's put a pin right there. Don't forget what you were about to say. I just want to highlight something. I want us to begin to normalize those things that hold us down, those things that people aren't so comfortable talking about. You just stated that you suffer from depression, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said it like you just like, I just put my shirt on, right? That means that it doesn't mean that you like the state or the place that you're in when you actually experience it. It just says, I refuse to what?
I refuse to let it hold me.
Yeah.
To let it grab me. Okay, I'm trying to cover this up. Yeah. I don't want anybody to know that I'm dealing with this. Right. They need to see me strong. They need to see Lady Flo as a survivor. Mm-hmm. They need to see her as a leader. They need to see, but in actuality, we're actually hurting ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like now, if I'm open, then I'm able to face those things that I fear most about myself.
For sure.
And then what it does is it gives you the open platform to be free to actually be who you are. A lot of times the reason we're in bondage is because we've placed ourselves in bondage.
Yeah.
Because there are so many things that we're trying to hide to actually portray a picture perfect life.
And, it's funny that you say that, because one thing that my mentor says often is, we talk about boundaries, we talk about building, and it's very important to build boundaries, right? But I don't want us to mistake building boundaries to building a prison.
Absolutely.
And so instead of building boundaries, which says, this boundary, this is the line of what I will accept, what I will not accept, we are putting a wall around ourselves and locking ourselves in, which means that the things and the people that God is actually sending to us, we aren't able to receive because we've built a wall, a prison around us. And so now the healing cannot begin. Being clear about where you're at, it will not begin because you have locked yourself in this box.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, absolutely. I'm so glad that you said that, because people don't want to talk about it.
We don't want to talk about it. And that's kind of like with my coaching, the Millionaire Shades of Me. That was actually birthed from my experiences. Millionaire Shades of Me is falling in love with every shade of me.
Yeah. Good, bad,
ugly, whatever it is that I don't like about myself, because what it did was, as God began to work with me with the Millionaire Shades of Me, and me falling in love with the fact that sometimes I talk too much. Yeah. Me falling in love, with the fact that, okay, I have depression. Me falling in love with the fact that sometimes my personalities flip,
Yeah.
I was falling in love with those things, falling in love with the self-inflicted pain that I caused on myself. Mm-hmm. What it did was it enabled me to recognize it. Mm-hmm. At first, I was not recognizing it.
But you had to fall in love with it first.
I had to fall in love with it
because when you fall in love with something or someone, you want to get to know everything about that thing so that you can serve it.
Yes.
Right? So even if I am falling in love with the brokenness in me, that means that I am getting to know it so much that when I see it, smell it, feel it coming, I know how to attack it.
Exactly.
That's it right there.
That's exactly what happened. So when I would start going into the brokenness, or when I would start going into the depression, it was like, oh, I see it. Okay, how am I going to handle this different? I could tell my mood swings. I could tell what was about to happen. I could hear my responses. Like someone would ask me a question, and the way I was responding was not usually the way that I would usually respond if there was nothing wrong. So me falling in love with those things, it made me face those things. Like, okay, you know what? Let me stop this. I think I was going through something and I knew that depression was coming up on me. And immediately I called you and I was like, hey, Tam.
Yeah.
I said, it's coming. She's back.
Yeah.
I said, she is back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fight differently because I know who she is and I fell in love with her.
I love
that.
Somebody needs to hear that. Because I have friends, one of my best friends suffers from depression. And as he's working his way through it, I think hearing those words right there, like not trying to literally rid it, but fall in love with it so you can get to know it as well as the good side of you. Sometimes we know the depressed side of us more than we know the happy side of us, right? Because we give ourselves permission to just get stuck in that.
We get stuck there, we stay there. And the thing is, it's almost like just don't get stuck, don't live in it, but learn how to adjust it adjust to it and say, you know what, this time I want to do it differently.
Yeah.
I want to come out a different way.
Yeah.
I want to come out transformed. I don't want to make the same. Okay, if I've been going around this circle of depression all this time, or I've been going around this circle of brokenness all of this time,
right.
This time, now that I'm recognizing it,
I
want to do it differently. And that's something I would say, that's my motto, do it different.
Do it different.
But
that's a good motto.
But the main thing is that you're going through these cycles of depression, these cycles of brokenness, these cycles of pain, whether it be through marriage, through divorce, through all of these things. And it's the cycle, and it's the same thing. I said, say now that I'm not going to do a 360. I will not do a 360. That's what I won't do.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk out of this circle anywhere but where I started. If it's a 359 and a half, okay,
I'm still not at that same location.
I'm still not at that same
Which says
location.
That there has been some type of growth and definitely some movement. So my question to you is, just tying it into divorce, were you suffering with that during your divorce? Did it bring it? Did it cause it? Was it a part of why it was so heavy, so strong?
Yes.
How did you
recognize I was so
that?
Caught up in the fact that I would have been married for so many years.
Yeah.
And the start over, that was 21 years of marriage. So I was always caught up in the fact that, you know, I've been married 18 years, you know, I've been married 20 years, you know, and to know that, okay, I knew the best thing was for he and I, and he did as well, was like, okay, we need to part.
Yeah.
We need to end it. So people on the outside, because we were never very outward with everything that was going on inside our house, we just let people take the sides they wanted to take. We didn't ever even talk about why we divorced, what happened, or anything. We allowed them to do that because we were already dealing with divorce. We were already dealing with the hurting. How would it be with the kids? And how was it going to be for me to be single? And really, to be honest, I had a whole different mindset. It was like, I wasn't doing no marriage. Flo was just going to do what she wanted to do, how she wanted to do, when she got ready to do it. And I had it took me through a whole lot of different changes. And then that's why I thank God for my husband now, because when he met me, I was not at a place for marriage.
We're going to get to that.
Yes.
So don't.
Okay, I ain't going to go there. I'm going to.
We going there. We're going to go there. You guys, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. For those of you who just hopped on over here and over here, we got two cameras rolling. We want to say thank you. Welcome to Let's Be Clear. We are talking about seasons of divorce. 2023, we are coining it as the year of healing. Every month this year, we will have one of the ladies that is a part of the Let's Be Clear, the Life After Divorce movement, that is a co-author of Seasons of Divorce. They will be sitting next to me or on screen with me, sharing a piece of their story as it relates to their season of divorce. Now, Flo, your season, you're in the winter. So when we think about winter time, sometimes we think about, it's time to get cozy, wozy, and climb up under, your boo thing, your man, your husband, if a man is watching, your woman. You put on the fireplace, you get your drink, you want to chill. But then we think about divorce. We think about winter time of divorce. How would you describe that? If someone said, define the winter time of divorce, how would you define that?
If you look at the picture that you used when you did the flyer, that was my armor stance. Yeah. That picture was no smile. It was because winter is lonely. Yeah. When you seek companionship, when you seek to be in a relationship, when you want to be family, you want that. Winter is lonely. You know, everything's popping hot in the summertime. Yeah. And wintertime, no one to sit by the fireplace with. No, it's lonely. It's depression. It's overeating. It's overindulging in things that may not be good for you. Yeah. If you are longing for what you had and you going through your first season of divorce. Yeah. With no one there. Right. And it's been someone there those years before. Yeah. My advice to you in winter is to fall in love with yourself.
You keep saying that, and I'm really hoping that I'm sorry, y'all. I get real passionate. I'm like, I'm really hoping that the people are listening to that, because it's so important that we fall in love with all of us. Mm-hmm. And that is what you were saying earlier. Like, I fell in love with the broken part.
It's so important, because
if fall in love with you.
If you don't love yourself and you don't fall in love with you, period, the relationship, you can't look for someone else to love you more than you love yourself to give you that satisfaction. You will die trying to find that, so fall in love with yourself and the things about you. Congratulate yourself, reward yourself, take yourself to dinner, learn how to do it yourself. And then you don't have so many extra requirements on a person that just wants to get to know you. You'll run them off because you got a whole, checklist and stuff, because you haven't learned to love yourself first.
Correct.
It is so important that, because if you don't love yourself first, there's no way that you can properly love the person if you're looking for a relationship.
And
there's no way to properly love.
How can I teach you how to love me when I don't know how to love me? Right? So what I'm teaching you is the wrong way. And so once I begin to heal, or I become healed, now I'm trying to figure out why you don't get it. Well, it's because I've already taught you how to love me when I wasn't healed. I taught you in that space.
Yes.
And now as a healed woman, I'm yearning for something different.
Yes.
Because I'm in a different compartment of my life, right? And it's not the other person's fault, because he or she is only doing what you've taught them to do. We ask that you be a teacher and a student in relationships, right? So as a teacher, I'm teaching you how to love me. I'm teaching you what my love languages are. I'm teaching you how to, communicate with me. But if I'm teaching you that in a broken area, while I'm in a broken area, once I begin to heal, I'm no longer attracted to that thing.
That's it. That part.
I'm not attracted anymore. It's like,
something else.
It's something.
Let's move on now. It's something else.
Oh, this is good. This is good. So there's winter times, you guys. There's winter, spring, summer, and fall in divorce. And all of those seasons come with different emotions, right? And sometimes it's like death. There's different steps of grieving. And sometimes we say, well, I already went through that part of grieving, like denial but you may find yourself back there. So you may go through your winter season, go to summer, spring, you may find yourself back at winter. And guess what? It's okay. And just as you said, learning to fall in love with every part of you, and then being able to recognize when you arrive, when you feel that thing coming on, when you see winter coming after you've already experienced it, you should be able to see winter coming and respond differently, right? So instead of this time crawling in bed and going under the cover and not eating and not going to work and not being effective as a mother, as an employee or whatever, you should now be able to at least stick one foot out of the bed and say, I'm doing better. I didn't say get up and run. I just said stick a foot out the bed and say I'm doing better. I feel like I want to step out, where before I felt like I just wanted to continue to lay down. So when you do experience these seasons again, you should be doing better.
Better, absolutely. It's almost like just looking at the 4 seasons. We know when winter is coming and we begin to prepare for it. When summer comes, we prepare. We're in there buying summer clothes. It's the same way with your seasons of divorce. Like when you're going back, when you feel yourself going back to that dark place, because you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. It'll be a summertime and you may have a winter day. Yeah. But knowing, say, okay, this is a winter day. What do I need to do differently than I did before? Do I sulk, or do I cry? Do I lay up here, or do I get up? Do I move around, to make sure that we're doing it differently? Every winter that comes is not the same. Yeah, that's even in the 4 seasons. Sometimes spring will be here and it feels like winter. Yeah, summer be here and it feels like winter. Yeah. So you knowing yourself and knowing when these things are taking place, then you're like, okay, I have to do it. I cannot stress it enough to do it differently. There were so many things, like I realized after I really began the healing of seasons of divorce and starting to heal past divorce, it really actually took me all the way back to my childhood. Listen, things I felt like men had done to me was actually things that had actually started in childhood and had nothing to do with the male, but all to do with the way I was raised.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're blaming people for the way we are now.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if we go back and go through our roots and our childhood, you can sometimes find like it wasn't that spouse that actually sparked that. It was actually something during childhood, something while you were being raised,
right,
that actually called you. Like, I'll give you one example.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody I used to date, I called them daddy.
Mm.
Oh, hey, daddy.
Mm.
Hey, daddy. Really? Okay, but my father didn't raise me.
Gotcha.
If you notice that women that are really, really raised by their fathers, and raised and brought up, very seldom do you hear them call another man daddy.
Right.
I'm calling everyone daddy because I'm now in hindsight expecting them to take the role
impossible
that my father should have took, or per se what I thought.
What you thought. Yes. So because if you didn't, because here's the thing, if you didn't have that as a child, now you can only imagine what it should be like. And then your imagination is built off of what you see, like from your friends and, TV and what you hear and what you've read. So now you begin to design and describe daddy. And now you look for that in daddy.
In a daddy.
And a dad.
Right. And we look for it in a male figure and we don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hey, daddy. But then if daddy, sugar daddy, or pimp daddy, or whatever daddy that is, that we've labeled him, the moment, whatever your daddy is, who's your daddy?
Right.
That daddy. Who's your daddy? But I'm just going to say, like, then when it doesn't go, you go back to the hurt of the child, but you reverse it around and put it on the male because that's the position you had him in, but not even realizing this is you as a child still crying out for your daddy.
And you know what? And even with that, because there's somebody out here that's saying, well, I had my daddy. My daddy was there, so no, she's not talking to me. So let me talk to those people.
Exactly.
Right? Because I was her.
Right.
I was the one who, my dad was in my life, very active, showed me what a man is supposed to do and be in a woman's life, right? And the funny part in this is that I will say, I love my dad as a dad, but as a 47-year-old woman, I will say today, I would never marry my dad. Like there's some things I saw that I'm like, But what I did take into relationship was expecting my dad from that man. So it's the opposite of what you got. So now I'm like, pump gas where? I'm like, take trash out. It's a man in the house. That is where my mindset was. Certain things. There was some really cookie cutter roles that only men do this and only women do that. And so when you are dating someone or you marry someone who was not raised in a home, whose father did those things, that they don't have that same belief, right?
Yes.
There are some issues that are going to come about. And so to expect daddy from your husband is a setup in itself.
Exactly.
So you and I, we had similar experiences, but which led us to that's just wrong.
Exactly. But really what made me realize it was my grandparents practically raised me. My grandmother and my grandfather. Because I always wanted to be out there because granddaddy would go to work, come home, bring his whole chicken to grand. We cooked, so I've been cooking forever. My grandfather and my brother never opened a pot.
Yeah.
We served them.
He was a man.
Right. We served them. We took them their food. When they come home from work, that's what we did. And I remember we always called my grandfather daddy. Me and my other siblings. And I remember once I started going through this sugar daddy syndrome thing that I was realizing with this daddy thing, I realized it was around 12 or 13 where everywhere I would go, I would want them to understand that was my grandfather. So I'd be like, granddaddy. I changed it, granddaddy, because, and I was like, okay, it was at that point that I was really missing my father, even though my grandfather and my grandmother and my brothers, and they provided for me. There was nothing that I lived a very, very nice life. But the thing about it was I was hungering for that empty spot of a father because I changed my granddaddy's name.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this. In your divorce, did you feel that your granddaddy or your dad, who wasn't there the way that you wanted him to be, Did you feel like they failed you with not showing you the proper things that you should do? Did you find yourself blaming them, blaming him, the ex-husband, yourself? Like, where were you in that stage?
In the stage of my divorce and going through, I had several different emotions going on at that time, but nothing with my father or my grandfather.
Okay.
It was basically what was at hand between my husband and I.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What we had experienced,
mm-hmm.
The things that took place that were just not changing.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, is maybe because of what I seen my grandfather do.
Got it.
But I also, the women in my household, in my family, are very, very strong.
Okay, what does that look like?
That looks like independently strong. My granddaddy did what my grandmother said. You know, it was like my sister, they did, you know, their husbands did what they act. I'm just looking
my
at
family used to say hen pet.
Yeah, like the whole family. And so in me being a woman in marriage, like taking care of everything, it was like, I said, my husband never do this and he never do that. And it was like, you never gave him the opportunity either. You never gave him the opportunity because you were already, you know, I make sure the bills or make sure this is done, make it happen. So then now I've handicapped him.
Yep.
And now I'm upset with him.
Because you trained him.
I've trained him
not to have to do those
things.
But when you got tired,
exactly, that part.
He was supposed to just snap back
and do what he was supposed to do.
Oh, okay. So that's
I'm
kind
tired.
of, I was told that before that I was almost like trying to relinquish. You're like, okay, I know you're the man, but you're still holding on to that remote control on the side. There's still some control. You're still trying to control, and that takes practice. And a lot of that for me derived from just having to do it.
Right.
Even with a man in the house, sometimes a lot of things I just had to do. And so it became a habit. And then when you actually, and this is how we're going to phase into your new relationship in marriage, when you actually begin to see something or you begin to date someone else or you remarry and you see the opposite of what you had to do or endure in previous relationships, it's an uneasy place because now instead of now you have to be a teacher and a student for yourself. You have to unlearn some things that you have been so accustomed to doing and stop saying things the way that you used to say them. And, if you are a strong woman, you probably need someone that is able to not yell at you and tell you how to do things, but that's able to say, babe, we don't have to do that. We're not going to do that. Not today. Somebody that can tell you no.
As my husband say, that don't make no sense.
Yeah. Because you know what? And because everything you used to say made sense
to me.
Well, in past relationships.
Yeah.
Because you were so accustomed to being raised to just do what Flo does.
Yes. And I remember being at the time with me, the last time me and my husband actually separated. And me and my children moved into our own house.
Your ex-husband?
My ex-husband. We moved into our own, the kids moved to our own house. And I remember sitting in my little woosah room with my jazz playing. And that was my woosah every night. And the Lord spoke and said, like, write down what you want in a man.
Mm.
What do you desire to have in your king on earth? So I'm like, okay, I'm finna prepare this to Corey to see if he fits. So I'm writing down all of these things that I desire to have for my king on earth.
Gotcha.
And the thing about it is what I realized, and I talk about that all the time, I was not built for even what I
You weren't even ready for it. You asking for something you ain't prepared for. Y'all listen. Pause. Let me say this to us, right? All of us. We're so quick to make a list, write down, he have to be, she has to have, but okay, so let's say for stuff and giggles, let's say it's handed to you as you please, right? As you ask. Are you prepared and able, available? Do you have the capacity for what you're asking for? Are you going to mess up this thing that you've been asking for? Okay, you want it, and it may be yours. listen, let's be clear. It may be yours, but it is so important that we understand timing, because we're going to put ourselves in position where we're fighting some battles that we really shouldn't have to fight, right? If we do it with the right timing. Trust me, I get it. Trust me, I know.
Look,
I know how that
part,
goes.
and that's kind of like how it is. And it was like, and then once I had what I desired to have, and God relocated me here to California, I ended up in a relationship that was clearly not healthy. And after a while, I'm going to really share.
Okay.
That'll be later on. Y'all can meet me on Facebook, but I'm going to share about that unhealthy relationship. And during that unhealthy relationship, I met my now husband during that time. And he would be here like, that so-and-so don't make no sense. Like, Flo, I can see you. I can see what you're trying to do. I can see which way you're trying to go. He was like literally calling, like, well, I'm confused. I don't know. I do like being, but I don't know what I want. It was just so much. But it was because of my list, right? Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to share something with y'all. I almost missed the best thing that ever happened to me as Florence A. Falls.
Because of the list?
Because of the packaging.
Okay.
Because of the packaging.
Got it.
I had pink and yellow and blue paper on the outside with a bow.
Got it.
But the list came in a yellow package with a bow.
You was about to miss it.
I almost missed it because it was not packaged the way I envisioned it being packaged in a bow. How many times I know do we miss things because it's just not packaged how we thought it should be packaged?
Often.
I had this list, but on top of this list, can I just be real?
Please be.
On this list that I had, this man had to be a pastor.
Oh. Wow.
Had to be a pastor. Had to be in ministry.
You were looking for those things.
Yes. So we're going to be standing by side at this church, and we're going to be doing ministry together. And for what ministry was looking like to me at that point and at that time of my life. Oh, this is what it, because I was, I had it packaged as a man of God. I had the list, but my packaging was a man of God. And because that was my packaging, I almost missed the best thing that ever happened to me, because Gantry Dennis was the entire list.
Listen, do you hear me?
He was the list plus some, and my sis know this, okay?
Yes, and yes. Yes.
He was the list plus even more to my healing. People have sponsors when they're on drugs and different things like that. He's my sponsor. Ain't that right, babe? Ain't that right, babe?
Yes,
He's my sponsor.
Yes.
He's my psychiatrist. He's my everything. Everything to me. For me to be the woman that I am today, to even go through the healing process as real, he's like, oh no, that's fake. That's not, because he could talk to me differently than a counselor or a psychiatrist can, because they have to beat around the bush.
Come here. Give me 5.
Because they have to beat around the bush. They can only say so many things. They can only encourage you.
Yeah.
But he knew when to go in hard, and he knew when to pull.
So one thing that I say often, and I've been saying it a lot, and I'm going to read Marquise's response in a second. But one thing that I say often is the reason he's able to go directly to you is because he has the oil for you. Not everybody have the oil.
Come on.
For flow.
God has anointed him for this.
Listen, exactly. So he's able to oil your famine spaces. Those places in you that have been broken, that have been non-existing, that has died, that has never waken up. There's some things about you today that you never experienced, but as a result of experiencing him, there's this new thing that has come about, right? And so we have to understand that there are seasons of oil. So there was somebody in your life before. They poured a little oil in certain areas, but I mean the complete package of who you are.
Yes.
God gave it to him for you.
Specifically designed for me.
And you were specifically
While
designed
I'm out
for
here
him.
looking for a pastor ain't got enough time for me. My husband By the time he get through preaching at all these places and me trying to carry his suitcases, I gotta go. It's not enough time. I demand a lot of attention,
and you gotta know.
And I did not know that until I met him. Now, God also granted him the patience for me. Because the stupid stuff that I done, from past relationships that he's been in, he just like cuts it. And he has no other contact with those females anymore, not even answering our phone, not even a nothing. We would say we were done, and I would call and I would pray that he would answer because I knew it, and he would answer. I know that it was God. He'll say his relationship with God became closer. Because of me, really, because of all the stuff he had to deal with. Let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
The things that he had to endure with me, as even me being a woman of God, but had already set myself down because I knew I needed help.
Yeah.
I was not about to be preaching nowhere. I was not about to be still pastoring my church when I knew I was bleeding and confused.
Yeah, hurting somebody else.
Bleeding on the sheep that he held me accountable for. It's something about honesty with yourself, and then God can protect you and lead you to get the healing that you need. Anybody that knows me know I'm just coming back out within the past year. Regardless of what I've been doing, I am just stepping back out because now I know I'm doing the process. But God prepared him for me. He's
been preparing him.
And look,
he didn't just start. I just want to be clear. He didn't just start preparing him when y'all said I do. His experiences have been experiences for this, for a time such as this. Right?
I tell you, that is so true. And the thing about it is, when I think about it, when I was in that woosah room, I kept feeling, nobody know how I came to California, but I kept feeling like, what is this atmosphere? What is this? I never felt this before when I would write and pray in my woosah room. And that's where I wrote my list of what I desired from a male. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So when I get to California, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I was feeling. Lord, are you saying move to California?
Wow.
But in the midst of my dark place and my brokenness, while I was writing just to be able to breathe, God was preparing my future in California for my husband and everything. I didn't know not one time that I was about to come to California and be married in a year. Okay. I just knew I wanted to run away, and I knew that God had called for me to be here just from the signs. I'm like, I walked out of the airport. I said, hi, culture. Because it was the culture I had been feeling those while I was in that house, in that woosah room, writing.
Now it just felt so familiar.
It's familiar, my book, my this, my that. The man I desired to have, all of it was written in that room. And God had to strategically put me in the culture. I made a choice, regardless of what people said.
Yeah.
God is saying go. So regardless of what I hear in my ear, regardless of what I hear people in Mississippi saying about me, that was hard at first.
Yeah.
Because I wanted everybody to like me, and I'm still dealing with that now.
Yeah.
But going on and following him, and it looked stupid, it looked crazy. Oh, she left her kids. If you don't know, can I just please ask you to shut up?
No, say it again.
If you don't know, can I please ask you to shut up? Do you know how many women that go to the army and leave their children? Don't sit up there because my life doesn't fit your life.
And it's not saying that, and she's not saying she left her children to.
No, I didn't leave my children. Wait, let's be clear. I'm very much a part of my children's lives. We still a whole family.
Right, she didn't leave them to come to a man. That wasn't it.
No, I did it for it to be better for us. Nobody knew we were about to lose everything. Due to COVID, due to Corey having a stroke, my ex-husband, due to my daughter postpartum depression.
And this was after the divorce.
No, this was like he ended up with COVID. This is before the divorce.
Okay.
So when I came here, we was like, okay, we finna try to make it work.
Gotcha.
So my move here was to say, okay, let's see if we can work this out. I got extra income. I'm gonna see if it just didn't work that way because
God had another plan.
He had another plan. God knew I would move for my family.
God had another plan.
He knew I would move for my family, and he was going to let me see. He was going to remove the scales to show me like things I thought had changed.
That's a great segue. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because he allowed the scales to be removed, that the things I thought were changing in my marriage were actually not changing.
So you talk about it. I'm gonna read this, and then we're gonna go to this question I have. Marquise says some gifts have maturity restrictions. We wouldn't even know how to unwrap a gift from God that we aren't ready for.
Oh, that is so good. That is. So
I know
good.
it to be true. I know
So
it to be
good.
true. You don't
So
know how
good,
to,
bro. That's my bro.
You mishandle. You'll mishandle it if you know you aren't doing it the proper way. That's a good one. That's real good.
Yes, because we do, and a lot of times we'll jump for the gift and then mishandle the gift, and then try to repackage the gift that we mishandled.
Ooh.
Once we realize we mishandled.
But like, okay, no, for real. Put it back on. Put it back on. Put it back on. Wrap it back up. Wrap it back up. Wrap it. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it at first, and now let me try to go and try to, you know.
I didn't see it. That's good.
Because a lot of times we'll jump into gifts that are given to us. Mm-hmm. We're so happy for those gifts. We don't stop to think before we go to unwrap the gift. How to. We know we need the gift. We know we appreciate. We know we can't live without the gift.
Right. But we get so anxious.
And we run to the gift.
And that's what we do in life.
Uh-huh.
We're so anxious.
And then we are apologizing for tearing up the gift. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't try to do it that way.
And we never even had to apologize if we had just
took the time.
Just wait.
It's
yours.
You know what?
It is yours.
I know you're my gift, but I'm not ready yet. Give me just some time so I can feel my way through. This is something I never felt before. This is something brand new.
Wow.
I hated flowers until this man started sending me flowers.
You didn't know you liked. Oh no, you hated them.
I always, even for weddings and stuff, people, y'all know when I was decorating, I always ordered the prettiest artificial roses and flowers I could absolutely order, because I did not like real flowers.
From the right person.
But when I started getting real flowers and started to smell them, I lost it.
And now you need them.
Oh, it's definitely it's a need for flowers.
Look, you were talking about removing the mask and removing the lens, and then in the back of one of the questions, or a couple of the questions that you asked in the journal we're talking about is Seasons of Divorce. This is one of my co-authors, for those of you who are just hopping on. This is Lady Flo. She is representing the month of January, one of the winter seasons. And so you've heard, if you haven't, go back and listen. We talked about the season of winter while going through divorce and what that feels like. So at the end of her journal prompt, she asked the woman that will hold on to their journal, she said, what masks did you need to remove, and what steps will you take to remove them? So why do you think it's important? Because sometimes people say, fake it till you make it, fake it till you make it. Or they'll say, just act like, just put it on, just act like you got it together. To me, that's not just to me. That is the unhealthy way of coping.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
People, you can know where you are. You can say, you know what, this is my location. This is how I feel. This is where I'm at. All of those things you need to be able to express, and it's okay to not be okay.
Read that again.
Absolutely. You said, what mask do you need to remove, and what steps will you take to remove them?
Because the thing about it is the word says, a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor. If your mask is not removed, oh, I like jazz. Oh, baby, I like jazz too. That's your mask, because you want to like everything he liked, because you're hungry for a relationship. You're hungry to be with somebody. Oh, I love football. Oh, I love baseball. I love all of these things. So he's thinking he's found a good thing and going to obtain favor.
Yeah.
But you're wearing a mask.
You're unhealed.
Yes. So you're unhealed.
Yeah.
And you're wearing a mask.
Covering up who you really
are.
So what happens when you begin to remove the mask, when layers are being peeled off? Literally, I can visually see a mask over someone's face, and a layer of it, not the entire thing. You guys follow me with this. There's a mask on your face, and layers of it, as an onion, layers of it is being removed, not the entire mask. So there are little bits and pieces of change and development as an individual as you are dating or married to a person that thinks they found the right person, right? We have all of these things in common, and that is why it's so important for us to understand when the word says that we are supposed to find someone, they are supposed to find someone that is suitable for them and not compatible, because compatibility has an expiration date, right? All those things that we are compatible in will expire, because we are going to, there's layers of stuff, whether it be fake stuff, real stuff, that's going to be removed. So as these layers are being removed, once you get to the skin, the flesh of who this person is, I am now able to say, I don't like jazz. I know that you like jazz. Now, what I should say is I'll experience it with you, but I don't really care for it.
No.
But I'm not going to make it my thing.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, okay, then y'all get married. You're like, well, let's go to the football guys. And he's like, I don't really want to go to the football game. He looking like, why you don't want to go to the football game? I was like, that's what we do. That's what we love to do.
But guess where that problem comes in? Now they're looking at you like, so what?
They confused.
What you doing?
They're confused. But it's our mess, even like our hurt, our pain. We will sometimes like, okay, I just wanted to be pleasing everybody else. Okay, that's your fault. That's not his fault, because you decided that you wanted to please it. No, remove the mask. No, I don't like this. Yeah. Yes, I am hurting right now. Yeah. You know what? Sometimes when I go to sleep, I deal with depression. Yeah. Have that communication. Mm-hmm. That is the biggest thing. Me and my husband now, we communicate about it, even if it hurts me, if it's something that I don't understand. Yeah. And we'll know, like, if it's certain things we don't do. Yeah. We don't text. Because we know
the tone of it.
That texting for us goes left.
Yeah. So you have to know that.
When we're in a tense conversation, we don't shoot text back and forth, because we already know, we've learned one another. So we know that we will be all the way in. It's going to be hard to bring it back home, because we're all the way across the field somewhere, something else that did not have. It's like things like knowing, like in those seasons, like right now when you're going through the seasons, you should be your prime subject. Mm-hmm. Not even what your best friends are doing, not what Susie doing, not what your ex-husband is doing. Now it should be you and you only. My husband laughed. He said, "My phone don't ring." Gossip, they're like that. Well, I told him, I said, by the time I get through dealing with these people in my head every day,
I ain't got time.
I don't have time. Me, I'm a whole case by myself. So I don't have time to indulge in what anybody else is doing. No,
you don't have the capacity.
No, I don't want to meet you for drinks. No, I don't. Every blue moon, it may be okay. But there are things, there are goals, there are visions, there are things that I have put into perspective now that I'm working towards. Yeah. And right now, my husband with my family are helping me work toward those goals. Yeah. Anything else from that is sidetracked is secondary. Be there for those that love you, and they be there for them. They be there for you, because a lot of times we have a whole lot of extra people in our lives that are only just draining us dry, sucking us. They own us like leeches, and there's nothing that they can never pour into us, but we're constantly poured into them. Yeah. Sometimes if that, you need to find out if that's your assignment or not, because that may not be your assignment.
Right. Well, so here's the thing. Your assignment is not going to leave you feeling like that.
Exactly.
So your assignment, whatever your assignment is, and even if in the moment, because one thing that I have learned is with what it is that I do when I go speak, once I'm done speaking, I feel depleted. But guess what happens? God sends somebody to pour right into me. Like, I'm never feeling, oh my God, I just feel no. But when it's not my assignment, when it's Tam pouring in and it's just Tam, I feel the difference.
And my thing is this, from preaching, which you all know so all over the world. What I realize is a lot of times we want our virtue to have been left because wait a minute. I got to.
Wait a minute.
Can you just say?
Can I do this?
Go.
Okay. Let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
Absolutely.
Because Jesus' virtue left him when the woman touched his garment.
Yeah.
We got to fall out the pulpit like we all empty. Now, that was only one time that this happened. Okay.
Sorry. Don't be sorry.
Well, I'm really not sorry. I'm really honest. I'll be honest. Let's be clear. I mean every word that I say. So we got 55 people to try to help us get it together. Try to, no. Sometimes yes.
Sometimes yes.
But no, because if God allows you to pour into somebody, he's not going to leave you empty. Even if it's him that refills your spirit.
Because he will.
Because he's going to elevate your spirit. He will not make you have 45 maids and servants. Let's be clear.
Coming to pick you up off the floor.
Yes. Now, it's some people that I know that labor, and I know I've watched them. My spiritual mother, I've watched her. Mm-hmm. And when she finished, but I've watched her for so many years, I see it when it leaves her.
Got it.
And she's just trying to, because she's almost 70 now, and I can see her still moving when there's nothing left in there because of her age. But she knows that the people need healing. She knows there's someone there that needs a healing. And so I've seen it. So I know what it looks like for real.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what it looks like for
just what it looks like.
What it looks like.
Yeah.
But God is not going to leave you even in seasons of divorce. When we're going through this thing, we have to know that he is with us.
Yeah.
If he's been with us through all of that pain, through all of that trials, through all of the brokenness, through all of the hurt, some of it verbal abuse, some of it physical abuse, through all those things. If he's been there, you've got to know that now that it was time for you to shut that door so that you can be a better you.
Yeah.
You've got to know that he has not left you.
Yeah.
Did I want my marriage to end? Me and Tam can say, no. That's not what we wanted. So she'll say all the time, we're not condoning divorce.
Not at all.
We believe in marriage. We believe in marriages lasting. We believe in counseling. We believe in all of those things.
Yeah.
But when there is a door that needs to be shut for you to be a better version of you, you've got to know.
Permission from God.
Don't allow people to make you stay in a place where you're being abused. Don't allow society to keep you in that dead space of unhappiness, of brokenness, of trying to cover up wounds and then walking out smiling when everything in your house is a disaster. And you done put the reels, you done put the highlights all over Facebook. But what is it like when you turn the Facebook page out, when you get off the Instagram? What does it look like in your house? There are a lot of women and men that are hurting behind the filter.
They're silent.
Behind the filter. They'll get off of Facebook and argue for the rest of the night. They'll get off of Instagram. They just post it and quit comparing yourself to these filters that you are seeing on Facebook and Instagram and Poodlegram and all them other extras. I don't know. I made it up.
Y'all.
Twitter.
Sorry. She said Poodlegram. You don't know who that is. But she said all these grams. Stop putting on these filters of happiness, of peace, and really get to it. And that's what this book, this journal is all about. That's what the movement is all about.
Getting to that place.
Being on the journey to actually be.
I wasn't happy. 21 years. I was not.
21 years.
But I wanted people to see, did we have good times? Yes. Or were we best friends? Yes. Do we still have a relationship as friends now? Yes. But being happy, like the things I chose and the things I wanted, no, I was not. I was not. And it's okay to say that. It's okay for him. I had to call him and apologize. One time I said, you know what? Going through this process.
That's mature.
What I realized is, I put a lot on you, demanding, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, it's good. I already knew. I just didn't pay you no attention. I just ignored you.
Kim said, what's behind the filters? What's behind the filters? Right?
Yes. What is behind those filters? Because we're modeling ourselves in our relationships, in our marriage, to what we see on social media.
So tell the people what coming from behind the filters in these different seasons of divorce, winter, spring, summer, and fall, because we know, like you said, every time we know there's a season change coming, we prepare for it. So let's talk about preparation before we end. Let's talk about preparation, preparing ourselves for these different seasons, or preparing them for the different seasons that they're going to come upon, because there's no way around it.
It's no way around it.
I want to be like, you don't have to go through it.
But you're going to have to.
I'm sorry. But guess what? We went through it and we are where we're at today. Happy, healed, whole, still healing.
Exactly.
ING.
We are still healing. You never come out of the complete process of it, because you're ever growing and you're ever knowing. You know, you ever learn, you're forever learning. To me, a dumb person is one of the things, they know it all and can't nobody tell them anything, because they're at a standstill. They just blocked their mind from not knowing anything else. But this is a forever healing process. So what does it look like? The seasons of divorce. The seasons of divorce, I'll start from the beginning and say it again. It starts with you. It's every day waking up to. I remember one part of my seasons of divorce was me waking up, looking myself in the mirror and saying, Florence, you can't lie to yourself.
The mirror. You know, I got a whole mirror ministry.
We had that mirror. Look. Yeah, you can't. I woke up every morning, and it was funny how she had a mirror ministry. And this is something that I've been dealing with over the years. And then she here in California, I'm in Mississippi. Yeah. And I'm sitting up here like every morning I get up, Florence, you cannot, because a lot of times when we don't want to accept the truth because we want a perfect marriage. I went through things in my family that I shouldn't have went through. I experienced some things, molestation and things in my family that I shouldn't. And I'm being real now, because I don't think I've ever said anything about this. But in my family, because they wanted to stay a picture perfect family.
So listen, picture perfect, because the picture is still.
Come on. That's so good, sis.
The picture is still.
That's so good.
How many photos have you deleted to get that perfect picture for you to post? As Tanya just said, everybody ain't who they post to be.
Tanya, I love you. You are speaking the truth, honey. Yes.
The picture is still. If someone was to use a video and just follow your life while it's moving, what will they see? Will they see, while you're going through divorce, will they see your winter season, your spring, your summer, your fall? Yes, they will, because it's moving. But when we just say, this is what I want the people to see, we have the opportunity to snap,
push out, take this out, put this back up. I don't want that one.
I want this
and
one.
That's why even with my husband, when we do our lives, we don't talk about it. We just say, let's go live.
Just go.
And that's why we get the response that we get, is because we're truthful and we're honest. I mean, it's how we are. We're transparent. We're funny, you know, and we don't agree.
And you're real. That's what we need. Let's be clear. That's what this thing is all about. That is the derivative of this show. The foundation of this show is to show people that are onlookers, that are watching, that, hey, not just you, us too, right? You see the outcome of the things I've gone through. That I can give someone a hand clap all day for actually doing a particular thing. But what I am really interested in is the journey, because that's where the meat is. The meat is what you have to go through to get to. Like these relationships that seem to be like, oh man, their relationship is amazing. Or these women who have gone through divorce and now they're saying, I'm healed, I'm good, I'm ready to date again. What did they have to, what seasons did they have to walk through in order for them to say, you know what, I think
I'm telling you, when you make up in your mind that you're going to do it differently and you're going to be different, you will, and guess what? Your seasons are not going to be easy. Because when you decide that you want to be a different person and you want to go back to the core of who you are in freedom, it is not going to be easy in your seasons. Nope. I'm telling you, I'm so comfortable now. It's like, no, I don't have to have this type of house, this type of stuff on the walls. I don't have to have all this. Look, me and baby.
Listen,
it's me and baby. In the middle of the night, if I want to fry a Cornish hen, because 2:00 in the morning because we hungry.
You getting up?
Oh, baby, I'm finna go ahead and deep fry, and we get a platter with some French fries around it, and we go and sit in the room across from each other. I pull up a kitchen chair that's out the kitchen into the bedroom, and he in his chair. We got this footstool that we purchased from somewhere, but it's nice. And we sit there in the middle, and we eat and we laugh. That's real.
That's life after divorce, you guys. Life after divorce says you can remarry, and you can remarry your best friend, and you can cook at 2:00 in the morning, sit up and talk and laugh. That's what this is all about. There is life after divorce, and I know somebody is going through, coming out of, or just divorced and struggling. They're having some challenges with the status of being divorced. Yes. But I want to tell you something that God said to me that I know is going to help somebody else. He said, your status has nothing to do with your purpose. So regardless to if you are single, divorced, you're dating, married, whatever you're supposed to be doing in the season that you're in, do that thing.
That's right.
And do it to the best of your ability.
And then let God send you your purpose partner.
Purpose partner.
It is something about a purpose partner.
I can tell you're smiling.
I am. Because when God puts it together, when he orchestrates it, and your purpose partner is so much more than love. It's so many laws to that purpose partner that ignites you and also ignites that partner. Yeah. So who is your purpose partner? But you'll never get to that place if you don't cross those seasons. It's not going to feel good. That's good. But if you do the process.
She wrapping it up for us, y'all.
If you do the process.
Wrap it up, sis.
It's not going to feel good, but if you're willing to give your all and do the process and willing to change even when it doesn't feel good.
I was going to ask, does the process feel good all the time?
It doesn't feel good, especially when you find out there are characteristics about yourself that you need to change.
About yourself. Hello, let's mirror ministry just woke up again. Okay. You got to look in the mirror and not out the window. Look at yourself and not out the window to judge other people, right?
Yes, and I will say this. You have to, because that mirror ministry, when me and my husband, my ex-husband, when we separated, I wanted to really reel in on all the things he had done. Yeah. But what God began to show me was myself.
Listen.
I mean, it was hurt. I'm like, Lord, but you know what he did, the reason we separated right now anyway. The Lord said, but you wasn't no wife either. You weren't even a mother to your children unless y'all was traveling and doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah, sure you
but you were not going to the football games and the basketball games. You was just concerned with ministry. You were gone for weekends and weeks at a time doing ministry, and your husband was at the house. Okay, was he not going to find something else to intrigue him or to get his attention? Because you were not there. You were too busy trying to save the world and heal everybody else. Yep. But then miss your husband. You could go and preach and tell everybody that there was a better way you could get through it. Oh, I smoke. That's okay. You can get But then when you got home to your husband, you was a junkyard dog. It wasn't no Jesus. It wasn't no patience. It wasn't no anything. Just me wanting to be a leadership, taking the lead of the house, which was definitely not my position in the first beginning. So it was automatically out of order. He began to show me. Mm-hmm. And when I went back, I said, dang, do I'm supposed to go back? Mm-hmm. But he started looking for me a year later and wanted to take me back. Mm-hmm. The Lord says, I'm praying. The Lord said, go back so you have no regrets. Mm. If it does not work you go back so you have no regrets.
I have that's my similar story. I went back so that, because I was on the fence. I was like, am I supposed to? Because we weren't divorced yet. So I was like,
yep, exactly.
What do I do? Right? And God gave me permission because he had already given me the approval to leave, but he gave me permission to go back and just see, right? Because I was questioning God.
Exactly. Because he was showing up. I didn't hear nothing from him. And all of a sudden he's showing up where I'm working out at. Like, I'm looking for my wife. He's like, like they don't see me coming there by myself. I want my wife back. I'm like, okay, so where is she? Is she still living in the house? Or, so it was really hard for me because it was like a whole lot of things. And the Lord said, go back. And when I went back, y'all, I didn't go back as Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
What'd you go back as?
I went back as a wife. everything that God has shown me during the healing process, where I was not a wife and that where I was not a good mother, I went back in 100 to correct those things.
Wow.
I was a wife because I was not working. I was doing pretty much my own business. So, I was washing his uniforms, had him hanging up, his clothes laid on the bed when he get home, his dinner ready, getting up at 5:30 in the morning, fixing his lunch and stuff for him, making sure he had breakfast and stuff, making sure I attend my kids' football games and stuff, even though I would go to church every now and then, but I was sitting down for ministry because God was upset with me is because I handled my family wrong. Yes, I was doing the work, but I mishandled my gifts.
And he says we have to be a good steward of everything.
Yes, and so in doing it, and when we parted ways this time, it was no regrets.
Because you went in and you did it the righteous way.
And I was thinking that my marriage would now be forever again. But God knew. He knew. So there were no regrets.
Wow. Y'all, this been good. This has been amazing. Listen, for those of you who are coming in right now, hopefully you're not just coming in because we've been 100, hour and 11 minutes strong. But again, this is the kickoff of Let's Be Clear for 2023. This entire year, we are talking about healing. So this is the year of healing for us. We are pushing the journal, our journal that just released today. It is live on Amazon. Please go over and get your copy. If Tanya, if you're still on, if you please drop the link in the comments, please. But you guys, it's on Amazon and it's amazing. When I say there's 12 women in this book, 13 of us that's in this book, just encouraging, inspiring, not saying that this is the tell-all be-all to your healing, but that is another layer.
The starting process.
It's a starting process.
And let me say this right here. Don't be so worried about a New Year's resolution.
Please.
Like I didn't get the book in January.
Right.
God knows exactly where your healing points should start. So if you purchase the book in June, start at June. Don't try to say, I'm going to wait till the beginning of the year. No. Whenever God leads you to purchase the book, even if it's not now, if it's in June, that means he needs you to start in June.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of your healing.
Yeah.
He said, okay, I'm going to start her in the summer months. That's where she needs to start. So whoever's in June is exactly what you need.
Yeah.
If it's August, if it's February, if it's December, wherever God unctions you to purchase the book, the journal, purchase it.
Yeah.
Because God knows that's exactly
when you needed it
and where you need to start.
And listen, maybe there's someone on here that's like, well, I'm not divorced. I'm not going through divorce. I feel like I'm cool. I don't need that. But there's somebody, I'm certain, because divorce has taken up so much of our space. It has occupied, as my sister so much of our space in the world today as a result of many, many, many things. But one thing I have learned is that during COVID, when everyone was forced to be at home, people began to learn who their spouse was or was not. And there were so many divorces as a result. But there was also so many rebirths of relationships and marriages that I was able to witness, and I'm grateful for. But I also know that it's easy for us to talk about the good stuff. It's not so comfortable when we begin to talk about, divorce, because some of the things that I've heard as a child is, you held bound and it's wrong and just hang in there and just stick there. But that, to me, that's improper teaching. You just stay, and I don't get it. That part I don't understand. And I struggled with it when going through divorce because I was like, but they said, because I had to study the word for myself. Yeah, be married forever.
My mother remarried, my sister remarried, and I was like, my grandmother, I'm like, I'm gonna be like my grandma and granddaddy. They got married the day after Christmas, so I got married Christmas Day. I was determined to be the model.
Yeah, you want to be right in alignment with
what I saw them, but then I also saw me taking characteristics of my grandmother, and then wanting my husband to have the characteristics at that time of my grandfather.
Yeah,
and he just didn't have those characteristics. And some of the characteristics I had were not good. So just in general, start your process.
Yeah.
Start your process. And I'll tell you, even sometimes even just purchasing a journal for someone else.
That's what I was getting to. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
no. Go ahead. I'm saying that's what I meant to.
But it's funny though. Me and Tam are like that because I be getting ready to call her, and she was like, "Sis, I was just walking to the car to call you."
Literally.
Or she'll call me like, "I was just about to dial your number."
Yeah.
But actually purchasing it for someone else, or even just if you want to be knowledgeable. To like, hey, let me look into the journal. Let me see what it's like. Let me see what these seasons look like.
Right.
Because it may be a part in there that may not have any that has to do with divorce, but it may deal with you on a personal level. Like, hey, I need to write in this journal. So I think that it's a read for everyone. It's a journal for everyone because I'm actually, it's up now. I got to purchase my copy so that I can start, my process because I'm forever growing. I'm forever healing. Every day I learn something new about me. And every morning I wake up and say, I'm going to be a better version of me than I was on yesterday.
I love it. I love it. So we're going to go ahead and end. But before we do, I want to say it's what you just said as far as what you say to yourself every morning. I want to challenge you all to affirm yourself every single day. Maybe you're not divorced, going through divorce. Maybe you are married. Maybe you're single. Whatever your status is, I want you to affirm yourself every single morning. Whatever that looks like, whatever it feels like, whatever it sounds like. Affirm yourself every single morning when you wake up. Let that be one of the first things that you do. Speak to yourself because too often we're allowing other folks to speak into us or speak at us. And then we take on the energy of that throughout our entire day. So if you control your own energy meter in the morning, starting by speaking to yourself, nothing else that's not going to build or help you propel to the next level it'll be like oil and water. It'll hit you and you'll be like, okay, and you will keep pushing. So I am challenging you all to wake up in the morning and to affirm yourself. And I want to invite you guys on Wednesday mornings at 5 a.m. I do a prayer call. 5 a.m. I know it's early, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I've been doing it for, I think, 4 weeks now. And, sometimes there's one person on there and sometimes there's 12 people on there, But I want to open it up to you all. I will put the link. I'll send Flo the link for you guys over on this call. And then for you all, I'll put it in here as well. But you are welcome to come in. You are welcome to send, prayer requests. But I just do global. But it's more so about divorce and being healed and being whole. But if there's a special request, I'll do that as well.
Yes, absolutely. And about your affirmations, we got to get off of here.
We do.
We got to go. Make sure your affirmations fit you. I'm serious, because a lot of times we'll pull from other places.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you look, what you're struggling with. Like that affirmation for myself to be I made that up. Because I just knew I wanted to be better than I was yesterday. So before my eyes even open all the way, I'm already saying that I'm going to be a better version I'm going to be better version of myself than I was on yesterday.
Yeah.
It also keeps me from pondering on what happened yesterday because I cannot change it, but how to make better choices going forward so I don't make the same mistakes again.
Absolutely.
So I found what fit me. So don't look at the affirmation as got to be some big writing or, your affirmation that one say, Lord, guide me. Just because you knew that you needed direction because you've not taken his direction. So every morning, Lord, guide my footsteps today. That might be your affirmation.
Yeah.
To put you on the right track.
Yeah.
So don't let anybody fill you up with a whole lot of extracurricular stuff. We did that in high school.
Yeah,
we took them classes only to get by.
Y'all make it so deep.
Yeah,
it ain't that deep. I promise you.
You got to hold your hand on your ear, shake your head, and be like you
jump
lost.
Up and down. No, you don't have to do
none of that.
It's real simple. I promise you. But it's the simplest things that we just can't get, right? Lord have mercy.
Let's keep it simple.
So you guys, again, thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who hung in there, for those of you that are coming back for the replay, please leave your comments, your messages. You guys run over to bit.ly, bit.ly /Seasons of Divorce. I placed it on the screen. We'll also drop it in the comments of these calls as well. Please go and purchase your journal for you or for someone else. And also know that we are doing our journal launch January 28th. You'll receive more information regarding that really, really soon. But we would love to have you there as our guest, where we're going to have, food. We're going to have DJ. We're going to have the book signing. It's just going to be fun. It's spoken word, just a lot of good stuff, you guys. So January 28th, again, we'll be sending out more information in regards to that. I want to thank you, Flo, for coming on. Not only for coming on, I want to thank you for being my friend, my real friend. She's mine too, y'all. It's not common that you meet someone and you just automatically just click. And I want to say thank you for just following your calling. Thank you for saying yes to God for your life. Thank you for saying yes, for being a part of this movement. I just want you to know you stuck with me. Like, I ain't going nowhere.
We glued. It's glued.
I ain't going nowhere.
This is my prayer warrior right here. Yeah. Pick up the phone, tab. In the name of Jesus, I decree and declare
it will go down.
It's going down. But guess what? What I want my people to know is that we enjoy life.
Yeah.
We pray hard.
Yeah.
We worship hard. And God enables us to enjoy life too as well.
There's life after divorce, you guys.
There is
it's
life.
A whole movement.
It's a whole movement. Okay.
So again, you guys, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and check out of here. We've been on here longer than we expected to be, but sometimes it just be good like that, right? So I want to say thank you. Thank you, Mel, for coming on. Thanks, Akila. You guys, we love you so much. Thank you, Kim. You may know someone who may need. Absolutely. Thank you, Kim, Ray, LaRonda, Akila, Tanya. Thank you all so much for coming on and joining us. We love you, and we will see you soon. Make sure you go over to Amazon and grab your journal. Share and like this video, and we will see you next month on the first Monday with Brianna Reed. She is the representative of February, and I cannot wait to have her on here. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you all. Bye.